We're going to start with feet further than shoulder width apart. Shoulders up, back, and down, chest lifted. Relax through the shoulders away from the ears. So you feel almost a bit of depression through the shoulder blades in the back. First thing to do is to drop the chin off to the right side, pulling it round to the front, feeling the stretch through the back of the neck, right round to the left. And then come straight up. And then we drop to the left. Chin comes right around to the front. Feeling that stretch to the back and then coming back to center. Do that twice more. Dropping to the right. Chin to the chest. Head and center. Inhale, exhale. Working in the breath. Feeling wherever there's tension, you're releasing it through your breath. Good. We're going to roll the shoulders in with this move, soften those knees. We're going to go off to that right side, shoulders round with this movement. So you want to use the upper back, come back to center, and down, softening the knees, chin is down, rounding the shoulders forward and up through the center. Exhaling round to the front, inhaling as you come up. Exhale, softening those knees, really bending now. Lift, let's soften those knees, roll it, the shoulders back, up, back, and down. Yeah. Bring it up, knees are over the toes. That stance is slightly angled, so that's natural for your feet to line up with those toes. Good, clasp those hands right behind you. Clasping the hands here, relaxing the shoulders down, chest is lifted. You're going to drop that body forward, hinging from your hip flexors, allowing the hands to fall forward and up over the head. Get comfortable in this position. You're going to feel a stretch through the front shoulders. You're going to feel the pressure, the weight come down through the head, releasing through the neck, and all the tension coming through. Opening up through the chest. Good. I want you to come back, dropping the hands back behind you. And then eventually to release the hands. Reaching really tall up above, almost towards the sky, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears at the same time. You come forward, all the way down, bend those knees. And down to reach the floor. Good. We're in a bent knee position, bum is dropped. We're going to tilt that hip right up to the ceiling, pressing the chest towards the back wall. Feeling the length through your hamstrings. Feel the stretch through the hamstrings. Feel the glutes. And that relaxation through the neck and the head. Let's grab those elbows. My favorite move. We're going to relax through the shoulders, grasping onto the opposite elbows, and we're doing that rock baby position. That's it. We've only got 15 minutes, so we're going to release that move right there. Drop those palms to the floor wherever you can reach. Shift the hips from one side to the other. A little hip shift will open up the hamstrings and the glutes and right through the hips to loosen them up. That's it. Let's come to one leg. Chest towards the thigh. Feel the length of the hamstring. Feel the length of the body through the crown. Good. I want you to tip open that foot, opening up a little bit more to an angle towards me. I want you to bend, sit the bum back, feel the inner thigh or the groin stretch on the opposite leg. I shifted that foot open so I can keep the alignment from my knee over the toe. Good. We'll come back to center. I can shift that foot back to more of a neutral position. I'm going to do the same thing on the other, but let's do that hamstring first. So go ahead and forward fold right over top of that thigh. Chest towards the thigh, flat back. And then when you're ready, you're going to open up that turnout a little bit on the opposite side. Getting ready for a little lunge. sitting the hip back. So you want to sit back in this one. You don't necessarily lunge over all the way because you want to keep that alignment from the knee over the toe. So sitting the weight back, feeling the groin stretch on the opposite leg. And that's it. Coming back to center, shifting that turtle back to neutral. Forward fold, flat back. We're going to drop the bum this time. So I'm going to turn out a little bit more to drop that bum, because that would be a natural movement to keep my knee alignment with my toes. Good. And then shifting back, flat back. So if you've got to play with that turnout to protect the knees, that's what you do. You drop the bum, you tip the hips to the ceiling, and you can turn that turnout back to more of a parallel position. Sit. Let's bring those feet in towards your center line, feet right underneath the hips. We're now in that forward fold position. You can grab the palms of the hands right up on the shins. We're going to lengthen out from the crown, drop the bum, flat back, relaxing shoulders away from ears, and create that neutral spine from crown to the tailbone. Good. Let's get into a king squat. So those arms come up beside the ears, sitting back down. Good. And then open up through the chest. Back to your king, sitting it back. Relaxing through the shoulders, opening up through the chest. Perfect. Shaking everything out in the lower body. We're going to come down to cat-cow. So we're going to come back down to that forward fold. We're going to walk this one out. High plank position. Nice long spine. Drop the knees. Shift that weight back. Puppy pose, you got it. Chest towards the floor. Lengthening out, feel the wings of the back open up. 15 minutes is just long enough to get all those big muscles. Come back to pull those hands in underneath the shoulders. You've got a cow-cat position. Give me your cow. Exhale for your cat. Bellies into the spine, check that chin. And then extend out. Good. Nice and long spine. Good. Let's widen up those knees a little bit. Come back into a child's pose. So that bum comes way back into the heels. Arms can extend, opening up. Pressing the palms to the floor and opening up through the shoulder blades. Chest towards the floor. Your forehead can relax on the floor. This is a nice de-stressor. Take that pressure away from the neck, pressing the shoulders down and away from the ears and opening up the wings at the back. Good. Let's come to me. We're going to walk over to one side. I'm just going to cross those hands over, one on top of the other. I'm going to sit back on my opposite hip, lengthen that body from that position. So I feel length on the hand that's on top, from the fingers to that glute or that hip on the opposite side. We're going to do the same thing to the other, so come back to center, walking that hand over, and then eventually to come on top of the opposite hand, and then pulling back into that hip. Just let your body fall towards the floor. Feel the length on the side body stretch and right through the hip. So upper back, side body, feeling the beauty of that stretch. Come back up out of that stretch, back to center. Pull those knees underneath the hips. So you've got that tabletop position again. I'm going to pull that weight back, open up my hands a little wider. I'm going to shoot this inside leg right through my hands to get a nice hip flexor stretch position. And my quadricep. Knee over the toe. pressing your weight forward, hands on the thigh. If this is not comfortable, you can always reposition, kickstand that foot, come to a standing position, your choice. Pressing the hip forward, lengthen through the body so you don't necessarily want to have that body too upright. Good. Drop that knee down behind you. If it's not dropped already, you're going to bring that weight back, flat back towards that thigh, feeling the hamstring. You can flex that foot, lean that weight back, feel the calf. Pressing the point and flat back. I want you to take that same leg. So we're going to come back to a hover position. Put the hands on the inside of the foot. I'm going to pull that leg right off to the side. You can drop onto the forearms. I'm going to face you in a moment, but just to get you in position, relax the shoulders. That 5 toes are facing the front of the room. You're going to sit the weight back and feel the inner thigh and the glutes with the lengthening of that leg. From this position, I want to go into pigeon. So I'm going to use that same outside leg. I'm going to come up onto the palms, knees underneath that hip. I'm going to take my weight off of that extended leg, pull that leg right out in front of me, and get into a nice pretzel type of position, so pigeon. I'm inching my way back to feel that hip opening, and when I'm comfortable, I'm going to come a little closer to the floor, work into that pigeon stretch. Now for those who have a little more flexibility, you can come right down to the floor wherever it feels slightly uncomfortable, but the tension is there, but no pain. Feeling the opening of the hip. I want to sit on this hip, walk over to one side. I'm going to bring that body back up, sort of pretzel position now. I've got my back leg bent. I've got my front leg in that pretzel position. I'm going to press the hips forward, and if from this position, you can lengthen out, pushing the hips forward. So let me turn around so you can see. This position, hip is lengthening, quad is feeling that stretch. We're going to lift off the floor, get that nice long reach, side body stretch. Around and come right over to the other side. Switch legs. Lengthen through the quadricep, hip. Reaching up nice and long. And from this position, we can do exactly what we did on the other side, but we're going to do backwards. So the next move is going to be back into pigeon pose, but now that front leg is different. So let's shift our weight over, keeping that nice open hip. Now remember, we haven't opened this side as much, so we don't want to put too much pressure. Probably enough for me is going to be coming down on the forearms. Get that hip open and get used to the stretch that's coming. Lengthening out for the crown. That's it, opening through that hip. And that stretch. I'm going to come up to that high plank position, so let's get those hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to lift our weight off that leg, pull it back to a high plank. That same leg is going to shoot forward. We're going to press those hips forward. Now, there's an option. We can come where we started on the other side. So we're forward, body was lengthened, and we sat it back. But if that doesn't feel good, you can always come up on the kickstand foot. Let's do it here. You can stay here, lengthen that body, or you can come up to this position. Holding, still pressing, squaring the hips towards one side of the room. Lengthening the body. Remember, it's slightly lean forward. Drop that knee in the back. It's not already dropped and you've decided to do the standing, and then pull that weight back. Remember that point and flex. Yes. So open up, flex. And you can stay right here with the point and flex, or you can open the hips. Back. Whatever you need, you do. Back up to that high plank position. The body's up tall. Bring that leg back behind you. Yeah, shake it out. Let's get into a nice downward dog position. So bring those hips to the ceiling. Press the palms into the floor. Chest pressing towards the floor, and hips are tipped. You can walk the dog. You can bring those feet a little closer into parallel. Pressing the heel down to the floor. Opening up the wings of the back, so you want to press the shoulders away from the ears. That's it. Perfect. Walk those feet in towards the hands. Walk those hands into the feet. Coming to the end here, should feel better to continue on with our day. So let's bend those knees. Bring that weight up, breathe. I want you to drop here. Lift up. Drop. Lift up. And up. And last one.